Rio+20, the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, formally adopted the Rio+20 final outcome document, entitled The Future We Want. A 53-page text endorsed today by over 100 heads of state and government, produced at what is considered the most influential conference on global policy.
The speeches are over. Now the work begins. It has been a successful conference. The member states, the leaders of the world, have renewed your commitment to sustainable development. I welcome the adoption of the outcome document. I thank Brazilian government, in particular, President Rousseff, for her personal leadership and dedication to Rio+20, to the future we want. The outcome document, which was adopted by consensus, provides a firm foundation for social, economic, environmental well-being. It will guide us, all of us, toward the sustainable path.
The document that we approved today is not at all a setback vis-à-vis the gains achieved in the 1992 Rio Earth Summit. It is not at all a setback vis-à-vis the 2002 Johannesburg Summit. Neither is it a setback vis-à-vis all other commitments taken on in the other United Nations conferences. Much on the contrary. The outcome document is a great step forward, as it clearly shows how shared sustainable development concepts have evolved from a conceptual perspective. We have thus launched the basis for an agenda for the 21st century.
Receiving criticism of having weak commitments, even UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon called the global agreement timid. Yet the running message at Rio+20 was about implementation, taking action on the text and commitments made.
We have said Rio+20 is about implementation, is about action. It is about concrete action. And the commitments that we share with you today demonstrate that governments, the United Nations systems, and the 9 major groups are committed and serious about implementation.
Among key principles, the text provides practical and workable proposals for strengthening the United Nations environmental program and guidelines on applying green economy policies, while establishing sustainable development goals aimed at succeeding the MDGs post-2015 to attain global sustainable development and to end poverty.
We believe solutions require action by all of us. Governments, yes. Let's do our part. Let's do more than our part. Let's pave the way for more clean energy investments. Take on the entrenched political and economic interests that stand in the way of clean energy, technology, and sources being used in nations around the world.
These poor countries, these countries who are permanently being hit by catastrophe, things have not changed much in these countries. So I will say, based on this summit, that much more effort is to be done so we can concretely, precisely come out with resolutions that will have an impact on the lives of the people being affected.
It's important to keep supporting emerging countries which still need some help. But today there's 1 billion people who is really starving, really dying in countries which are very failed state, weak state, with lots of discrimination for women and so forth, health problem, all problems concentrated. So we want to focus our help on these least developed countries and make sure that we won't keep with the 1 billion people who stay armed for the rest of their life.
The conference also produced 692 registered voluntary commitments valuing an estimated $513 billion from such groups as Fortune 500 companies, member states, and IGOs attending the conference. Key initiatives and forums that stimulated action at the conference include the UN Global Compact's Global Sustainability Forum, bringing in 3,000 attendees from the private sector, and UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon's Energy for All initiative, which has gained $50 billion in private sector pledges to help increase the share of clean energy by 2030.
Commitments have been registered by member states, United Nations agencies and intergovernmental organizations, and major groups, including leading Fortune 500 companies, universities, and educational institutions.
We can help developing countries with integrated policy solutions to what is a huge cross-cutting challenge, sustainable development. No one ministry, no one sector, no one actor can solve this challenge. We have to work in new, innovative, integrated ways. So our commitment is to support countries to do that and do it ourselves.
Key driving forces at Rio+20 were the thousands of participants from civil society and the private sector, helping to develop strategies to reduce poverty, advance social equity, and ensure environmental protection. The UN conference brought in more than 45,000 participants to Rio Centro, including close to 10,000 NGOs and major groups, like women, indigenous peoples, and youth. This concludes South News' special Rio+20 coverage. For more global development news and UN coverage, visit us at southnews.com. Reporting from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, I'm Afaf Kanja for South News.